Hello there. According to the latest reports, the UK government has asked the EU to consider giving us a longer transition period. In a move that will definitely spook Brexiteers, it seems that the UK is asking the EU to effectively give the UK an open-ended transition period. The Independent reports that the UK believes the period's duration should be determined simply by how long it will take to prepare and implement the new processes and new systems that will underpin the future partnership, Negotiators said in an explanatory note leaked ahead of its planned publication. The UK agrees this points to a period of around 2 years, but wishes to discuss with the EU the assessment that supports its proposed end date. The paper goes on to say that there are also indications that the UK is softening its stance on other matters, such as the freedom of movement of EU nationals who come to the UK during the transition period. Are we now seeing the PM going soft on the EU and Brexit? Well, she'd better watch her political back very carefully, because of the joint hard Brexit demand letter she received from more than 60 of her own MPs, many of them on the influential Tory Brexit think tank, the European Research Group, now headed by one Jacob Rees-Mogg, who is also a signatory to the letter along with the likes of John Redwood, Owen Paterson and Priti Patel. Remember that it only takes 15%, that's 48 at the moment, of her fellow Conservative MPs to lodge a letter with the chairman of the Tory 1922 committee to trigger a leadership election. The letter, dated the 16th of February 2018, says it offers the PM strong and continued support, but then lays out 6 ways she could strengthen the UK position in the talks. So this hard Brexit letter from 62 Tories could be construed as a direct warning to Theresa May. In fact, soft Brexit advocate Nicky Morgan said, "This isn't a letter, it is a ransom note. The ERG clearly think they have the Prime Minister as their hostage." And Anna Soubry unsurprisingly called it very disappointing. I wonder if that letter will concentrate Mrs May's mind, especially as we hear that a Tory councillor has left the party to join, wait for it, the UK Independence Party. Councillor Ray Tipping, representing Woodville on South Derbyshire District Council, is not happy with how the Conservative government is progressing Brexit, says UKIP. Saying that he felt gagged as a Conservative, Councillor Tipping went on to say, "This country needs UKIP. We fought hard to get Brexit, and we need to make sure the government doesn't backtrack, which is what seems to be happening." But I will point out that he was actually a previous member of UKIP who went over to the Conservatives because of UKIP party leadership issues. But he has now decided it is time to re-enter the UKIP fold. I wonder if others will start to follow. Now, back to those leaked Treasury Brexit assessments dubbed Project Fear 2, a subject which I said would run and run. These assessments claim that the UK would go to hell in a handcart should we even take a whiff of the air outside of the EU. But as far as I can see, no one knew who actually wrote them, nor what criteria and data was used. And a University of Cambridge working paper did throw some doubt on their full accuracy, something that I have talked about in a previous video. Further, writing in Brexit Central, the Professor of Finance and Economics at Durham University, Kevin Dowd, writes, "The Treasury's record of economic forecasting is so poor, it should have given up trying years ago." Well, it emerges that civil servants could well have inputted the incorrect data into the economic gravity model. A detailed investigation by Economists for Free Trade has shown that when government policy on Brexit and its key objectives are used, then the British economy will in fact grow by between 2 and 4% better than if the UK had stayed in the EU, reports The Express. The report from Economists for Free Trade, called Alternative Brexit Economic Analysis, or ABEA, also says of the leaked Treasury document, "It has become evident that officials in all departments relevant to Brexit have been tasked by officials at Number 10 to brief their ministers with PowerPoint presentations on the dire implications of this report." The new report, which has been passed on to Cabinet ministers, also says that a no-deal Brexit would in fact give the UK a £651 billion boost and cost the EU £507 billion. And staunch Tory Brexiteer Ian Duncan Smith said, "This new study by some of our most respected economists who have been right in the past on key issues such as the euro and the immediate effects of Brexit deserves to be taken very seriously. It suggests that we should all be highly sceptical of Project Fear Mark II, the Treasury-led operation by Whitehall officials to discredit Brexit and browbeat ministers into the softest of departures from the EU. It shows that far from depressing UK economic growth in the years to come, escaping from the EU will boost domestic economic growth and raise living standards right across the country, particularly for the poorest." And economists for free trade also said, "To put this into a nutshell, officials have made their Whitehall analysis case by assuming absurdly that lowering enormous trade barriers against the rest of the world will have virtually no effect, while maintaining existing barrier-free trade with the EU under a Canada Plus trade agreement will create huge costs in lost trade with the EU." And it also notes that it appears that the breakdown of talks would be positive overall for the UK to the tune of a one-off gain of £38 billion on the EU budget, plus £180 billion from bringing forward the non-budgetary Brexit gains, plus £433 billion from EU tariff revenue, some £651 billion in all. There you have it. Pessimistic fear-mongering from one side and optimistic hope-mongering from the other. And given previous track records, I know who I believe. But what about you? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.